I'm Dr. Fatima and you are watching The Mom School. Is your kid talking back to you or acting rudely to you or is showing disrespect to you? That's very common pattern of behavior in first graders age range starting from 6 to 8 years and especially in teenagers. So, what to do with it? Is it a normal phase of development? Should we overlook it or should we do something about it? Yes, it might be a normal phase of development, but it's not like that we cannot do anything about it. There are some ways in which we can redirect this kind of behavior into something acceptable and which is good for the child as well, because they will know instead of talking back or behaving rudely, what else they can do to express themselves. So first I will try to walk you through the reasons why the kids usually show these kinds of behavior. To understand that, I'll be using a small word as acronym, which will be alarm. Yeah. So now coming to the alarm, what does alarm mean? In alarm, A stands for the need for attention. Yes, we may think that we are providing everything for our children, but sometimes all what the children need is the need of connection or attention. As parents, we are very busy, especially we are working from home these days and this pandemic is going on. But still the children even they need more need for connection, because they are not getting the kind of engagement and affection they were getting from other sides, such as their peers, their teachers and all. So now the need for attention is even more and the demand for parents is even more. So what should we do now? What the rule is, you can say, is that at least for 10 to 20 minutes per day, per child, you should give an exclusive time. Like you should spend at least 10 to 20 minutes with a child if you have more than one child, in which you don't need to talk too much. If you're just sitting with the child and doing an activity, or just sitting with the child and just using your non-verbal gestures like smile or whatever to communicate that you are with them, keeping your smartphone away from you. And especially if it is the same time every day, maybe a story reading time or something, just sitting at breakfast together. Okay, so that will be really beneficial. Sometimes simple things work magic. So try this 10 to 20 minutes of time exclusively with your child. Now, as I was talking about alarm, so this was the first one, need for attention. And the second one is L. L stands for life events. Now, what do I mean by life events? If something big is happening in your child's life, like a new sibling has come, or like you are moving city, or they are changing school, or you are separating with your partner, or like right now pandemic is going on, and other such stressors like fight with a friend, small stressors as well, fight with a friend, something like that. Okay, exams coming up. Okay, if these kinds of things are happening and your child is talking back a lot, then you can attribute that talking back or rude behavior to one of the causes can be these life events. That means these life events have direct impact on how your child is behaving. Okay, so you should keep in mind that if these life events are happening, you should be more empathetic towards your child. That doesn't mean you are going to ignore your child's rude behavior. How to manage that behavior, I'll be talking after I walk you across through these reasons. But right for now, you should keep in mind that if life events are happening, then it might increase the chances of your child behaving rudely. Okay, because they have no other outlet to show their negative behaviors. They find parents the most safe place where they can show their negative emotions. Now moving to the next point, which is another A, which is need for autonomy or control. Most of first graders, 6 to 8 years children, yeah, and especially teenagers, they think that they don't have control over their life, or parents are instructing them or commanding them too much. Okay, which as parents we have to do because they are not mature enough to take their own decisions all the time, or they are not mature enough to handle their life on their own all the time. Okay, so what do we do now? Okay, to satisfy this need of autonomy, try to involve them in decisions which are not very big but which are important, or which will make them feel that they are important. Maybe meal planning for the next day, maybe planning for the weekend. Not all the time, but sometimes it's a good idea to show them that they are important, they are helpful, their opinion counts. Okay? Okay, so this was the need for autonomy. The next reason is R in the word alarm, which stands for watch out for the role models. Okay? You are the first person who will be role modeling the behaviors to your children. Like, what do you do when you are stressed out, or how do you talk with your partner when you both are not agreeing on a point? Yeah. So if you are using disrespect or rude behavior to get your point across to anybody, and your child is observing that, okay, and even to your child sometimes, and your child is observing that, then the child is learning from you that this is the kind of behavior we need to show when we have to get our point across somebody. Okay, so we should try to restrict our behavior, especially in front of our children, especially when we are talking with our children. We cannot change others until we start with ourselves. It's a big thing. We are very stressed out, but as I said, simple things make big changes. Especially when I'm talking about role models, another important point is the cartoons or the TV time which they are having, and what kind of content they are watching. Sometimes in those contents, to be funny, people are acting out, they are behaving rudely, they are talking back. Okay, and so that's normalizing that for them. If that's the case, you need to talk about it, discuss it in a light mood when everything is fine. Okay, like, oh, I just heard that character was talking like that. What do you think about it? Okay, just like that, having a discussion about it. Let not that be normalized, at least. Okay, so this was our role models. Okay, and the final is M. I am keeping for general missing things, okay, which are very important but are missing, like sleep. If your child is not having proper 10 to 11 hours of sleep, if they are young, okay, and tired, if they are being too tired and they are not getting proper rest is missing, then they might act out. Or hunger, if they are not eating properly, they are not getting proper nutrition, then they might also act out when they are hangry, right? So these are the mostly five needs, which if not met, then children usually talk back or act rude or show disrespect to you. Okay. Now, what do we do in such situation? We are trying all these things and still sometimes, okay, they lose control. Okay, they are angry over something. Now, how do we manage that scenario? Okay. Now, I have explained in one of my video earlier as well, in which is in Hindi, how to control anger. That when we are angry, humans, okay, we have the brain structure is like, kind of, you can understand it as if your brain has a lid on it. Okay, the out of control emotions have a lid of logic and critical thinking on it, okay, which keeps them in control. But when you are in anger, that lid opens. That means your logic, your thinking is not working anymore, and you are being run by your emotions, which are out of control. That means you become like a car without brakes. Okay. Similarly, when your children are angry over something, okay, they are car without brakes. So now, what do we do if the brakes of the car fail? Okay. Suppose if the car's brakes have failed, would you try to give driving lessons to somebody when the brake is not working? Okay, no. So if the car's brake have failed, what you will try is to put the brake back. Okay. Now suppose a car has a brake which is not working and you are the other car. Okay. And when the child is angry, you are also getting angry. That means your lid is also getting off and you are not putting brake. Okay. Your brakes have also failed. What will happen? Child and you will collide. Okay. And that will be an accident. So no solution is coming out of that. So when your child is angry, okay, you're not supposed to give him lecture. he or she will not understand because their lid is not in place, their brakes have failed. So what as parents we can do is, we can try our best to put that brakes back. How can we do that? So when your child is angry or upset or trying to talk back to you, what you do is that you tell them, okay, in a firm and clear sentence, that this behavior is not acceptable. Plus, you talk about their emotions, okay? State their emotions very briefly. I know you are upset. I understand you are upset. But first you calm down, then we will talk about this. And leave the scene if the child is safe, okay? So simple, just this will put the brakes on, okay? Show non-cooperation to them if they are acting out. You are not supposed to get into that fight. You cannot go to their level and fight with them. And there will be no result. And you will be showing that this is the correct thing to do. So put the brakes on, but don't forget to state the emotion part, okay? Because that will help them understand that yes, you understand what's going on with them. And that will help them recognize their emotion. And that's the key to emotional intelligence. During my research, one of my topic was emotional intelligence. And in self-regulation, what came out the most was, it's very important to label your emotions. If you can label your emotions, then you can control them, okay? So if you try to help your child know that yes, they are feeling upset and you understand that, okay? You are with them in that. You don't negate their emotions, but you negate their behavior, okay? Their emotions might be valid. Reason might be wrong for their anger, but emotions are always valid and they have the right to feel their emotions. So just negate their behavior and let them be for some time, right? They will come back to you. Where will they go, right? So just show some firmness and calmness at that time. And then when the situation has cooled off, okay, and if they come back to you and they are sorry, they are feeling sorry, you can make out, talk normally to them if they are acting normally. They don't need to say sorry, you don't need to ask them to say sorry. You can understand they are feeling sorry or not. And if they are behaving, trying to act normally to you, talk to them normally. And then when the things are quite better, tell them that their behavior was wrong and it will have consequences later on. Okay, when you're in good mood, everything is fine, tell them that behavior was wrong and you will be having consequences if you repeat that next time. And if they do that next time, okay, you're supposed to follow it with some consequences. Okay, don't threaten them, but tell them that I will be giving you a warning. Okay, I'll be letting you know that when you're crossing your limits. And even after that, yeah, I will tell you that this is not acceptable. Even after that, you are doing that behavior, okay, you will be followed by some consequences. Okay, so that will, even when the child gets angry next time, and you say that I understand, okay, I know you are feeling like this, but this is not the acceptable behavior, that will ring an alarm for them, okay, after this consequences will follow. And you don't have to tell them next time. If they do that, follow up with a consequence. Okay, take away some privilege, okay, or add on some extra task for them. Okay, that way you can show some, or whatever works with your children. Okay, whatever strategy you are using to discipline them. Okay, use that consequence. So you are giving an alarm as well as you are giving a notice to them, and that will help them cool off. And even if they are not, then consequence will follow every time. So they will know that now it's time to pull on my brakes back. Okay. Now finally, one more mistake which we parents are doing when we are talking to our children is that we have to give them instructions, okay, and they are busy in the middle of something, and that's when they talk back. Okay, they get frustrated that I am doing something and I am always getting orders. Okay, so sometimes what we parents make mistake is that we say, would you please do this, okay, or can you do this for me, okay, or do this for me, okay. So either of it is not right, okay. You are not supposed to ask questions. They have a right to say no to your questions, or you're not supposed to be too rude to them when you're asking. Make them feel that if they do what they are doing right now, that will be helpful to somebody. Okay, like you can say that I need you to do this right now, and that will be really helpful. Okay, that will be really nice if you do that right now. So it will be polite, and they will have a clear instruction that they have to do it right now, and you will be appreciating that. Because what we parents do is that we are always criticizing our children. Okay, and the amount of appreciation is very less in comparison to the amount of criticism. So we have to, I'm not saying that praise your children very often, I'm not in support of that, but appreciate them using your words, using your gestures, like, oh, thank you for doing that. That was really nice of you. I didn't know that you could do that. Okay, show your amazement. Your body language speaks a lot. Or you just sit with them and they will understand. Okay, just a pat on the back will do. Okay, so you don't need to praise, but please appreciate your children a lot. They need it. Okay, they really crave for our appreciation, our attention. I hope so. This is all for today. I hope these points you will keep in mind, and when you bring them in your life, you will notice a change. Okay, so that's it for now. If you haven't subscribed to the Mom School, please be with us. Please subscribe and share this to other parents as well. One more point I would like to add in the end. Right now we are going through a big stress situation. Okay, please understand and empathize with your children. They are not meeting with their friends. They are not leading a normal life. They are not going to parks. Okay, so please empathize with them. Try to create opportunities for them to reduce the stress they are facing. It can be a Zoom class. I'm not against it. Okay, and I'm not too for it as well. Depends on you. It can be a call, a video call with grandparents or with friends. It can be anything else. Okay, but try to create opportunities in which your children feel something that will de-stress them. They get an opportunity to de-stress. Okay, be patient with your children, especially in these tough times. I know it's not at all easy for us parents, but please, there is no other magical solution. We have to start with ourselves and with our children. Okay, then only we will notice the change. That's all for now. Take care. Bye bye. Happy parents.